And welcome back to the program. I'm Roby Brock. I am joined now by State Representative Vivian Flowers. She's a Democrat from Pine Bluff, and she is the leader of the Legislative Black Caucus. Good to have you with us.
Glad to be here.
You all have been having town hall forums across the state of Arkansas. I think you've had 3 and a few more
Yes.
are planned. Who is showing up? What are you talking about? And is this kind of a recap of the legislative session, or are you setting an agenda for the future?
All of that. Our first priority really is to be accountable to our constituents. And one thing we've realized, and I realized, is that, you know, people elect us and they live our lives and they go to work and they trust us to do the right thing. But it's not very often that they get an opportunity to really be engaged and learn about what happens with all of those bills that we propose and get passed. So that's what we're trying to do, is just inform them. If we expect people to make the connection between what we do and how government affects them, and then to be able to make appropriate decisions, use us in terms of constituency services. A lot of them don't even really know the process. And so that's what we're trying to do, is just be accountable and let them know what's going on.
What's the number 1 and 2 things that you are hearing consistently from all of the forums right now? What's the biggest concern out there?
People are really, really concerned about their health care. People are very concerned about what's going to happen. They consistently ask about the 60,000 people that might lose their health care. They're concerned about what may happen on the federal level. And for those who don't have Medicaid or the Affordable Care Act, and Arkansas Works, they're concerned about how all of this is going to affect them, affect their jobs, affect their insurance, affect their taxes. So people are concerned about that. I would say that's the number 1 issue. And then I'd say it's more of a hodgepodge of issues that come up, ranging anywhere from education. There's been a lot of talk about after-school programs, to our justice system, to medical marijuana.
My back is feeling pretty good today, though, Vivian. I'm not sure I'm ready for that yet. So tell me, let's talk about health care, because as you indicated, there's the state health care reform and then there's federal health care reform. They are going to fold into each other.
Or maybe fold out of each other.
Possibly. How do you think that plays out in elections next year?
I think it's going to be front and center. I think that, it's going to lead in the conversations. I think it's going to lead in the debates. I think it's going to lead in the advertisements, because we came from a situation where this country's economy was bleeding. We know that it is a major proportion of our GDP. We know that it's an incredibly important economic driver in terms of where companies go. Are the people sick? Are there resources? And so it's an important issue to everyone. And when it fails, we all lose. We know that it has an extremely important impact on hospitals, certainly our rural hospitals in Arkansas. But we saw that even what happens to the only academic health center in the state at UAMS, will be incredibly impacted by what happens with Medicaid, traditional Medicaid, and Medicaid expansion through the Affordable Care Act.
It seems to be helping Democrats recruit some candidates at the congressional level. I mean, we've seen somebody in the 3rd, the 1st, and the 2nd district at least step up, say they're going to run as Democrats, mainly because of health care reform. Is it helping at the state house level? Are you seeing a tick up in activity of potential Democratic candidates at the legislative level?
I think in Arkansas, it's more of a tick up for people wanting to get involved and address a myriad of issues. I've heard from so many women, young women, experienced and retired women, who are interested in running for office, who are concerned about how public policy is going to play out in the lives of their children and grandchildren. I'm hearing and seeing an uptick nationally and in Arkansas of your everyday Americans who work hard. As a matter of fact, there is an iron worker who's going to run against Paul Ryan, and he has an incredible social media commercial. I don't think that that's going to be limited to Wisconsin. I think we're going to see a lot of that in Arkansas as well.
All right. She's Vivian Flowers. She's the leader of the Legislative Black Caucus. Always good to visit with you.
Same here.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We're back with more right after this.
Okay.